Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating tool called Calculator Solaire Pro. We're going to explore how a simple application can slice right through all the usual headaches of solar planning and turn the idea of sunlight into actual, hard data you can really use. So let's start with a big question. How do you actually calculate the true value of sunlight? I know, it sounds a little philosophical, right? But for anyone even thinking about solar power, this is a super practical and often a really tough problem to crack. And here's the core of the problem. We all get why solar is appealing, but when you get into the planning, wow, it gets complex fast. You're constantly juggling upfront costs, trying to predict energy output, and figuring out what your long-term savings will really be. Getting that balance right is everything. And honestly, it's where a lot of people just get stuck. And that's exactly where our subject for today comes in. Let's take a look at the solution, a Pro Solar Calculator. So what is this thing? Well, Calculator Solaire Pro is basically an intuitive app built in Python to do one thing, and do it really well: analyze a solar power system. Its whole job is to figure out the power output, the costs, and the savings, all through a simple interface that takes all the heavy lifting off your plate. Probably the best way to think of it is like having a pocket consultant for your solar project. This isn't some giant, intimidating piece of software. It's a sharp, focused tool designed to give you precise answers and fast. Okay, so what can this little pocket consultant actually do? Let's take a quick spin and check out its capabilities. At its heart, you've got this really powerful calculation engine. It starts with the big picture stuff, total power and annual energy. Then it gets into your wallet, estimating costs and savings. But what's really cool is how granular it gets, simulating production hour by hour. And, this is huge, letting you compare different types of panels. And features like real-time validation and CSV export just make the whole process clean, accurate, and practical. This panel comparison feature is a real game changer. For instance, if you're stuck choosing between different panels, the tool instantly shows you the trade-offs. You can see exactly how much more juice you'd get from a high-yield model compared to a standard or economy one. It makes that whole cost-benefit decision crystal clear, and all of that builds up into a full scenario analysis. The tool can generate a simple, clear table just like this one, maybe comparing a 10-panel setup versus a 15-panel one. It lays everything out: estimated energy, cost, savings, side by side. This is exactly the kind of straightforward, comparable data you need to make a solid decision. Features are one thing, but why does a tool like this actually matter? Let's talk about the real-world, tangible payoff here. The number one benefit is simple. You get to make informed decisions instantly. It completely replaces all that guesswork and those messy spreadsheets with a really comprehensive analysis, giving you the confidence to pick the right path for your project. It does this by making complex data incredibly simple. Let's be honest, solar performance metrics can be totally overwhelming, but the tool's built-in graphs and clean interface translate all that complexity into something you can look at, understand, and act on right away. And this analysis is tailored specifically to you because of its flexibility. You can tweak every key detail: the number of panels, their power rating, what you pay for electricity. This means the forecast you get is for your specific situation, not some generic example you found online. And finally, there's a small but absolutely critical feature that holds this all together: accuracy. As you type, the tool validates your inputs in real time, flagging anything that doesn't quite make sense. This simple check is a lifesaver, preventing one little typo from messing up your whole analysis. It keeps the results reliable. So who is this actually built for? Well, you might be surprised by the really wide spectrum of people who can get a ton of value from a tool like this. Yeah, this isn't just for one type of user at all. The applications are incredibly diverse. It's obviously designed for a homeowner planning a rooftop system, but it's just as valuable for a teacher in a classroom. Energy consultants can use it for quick client estimates, and it's perfect for anyone who just wants to compare scenarios or demonstrate the real potential of solar power. And maybe the best part is that it's just so accessible. Getting started is literally a 3-step process. You just need Python on your computer, you pop open a terminal, and you're on one single command. That's it. No servers, no complicated setup, just a direct path to getting the answers you need. Ultimately, Calculator Solar Pro is just a powerful example of demystification. It takes a process that feels complex and makes it totally transparent. And that kind of leaves us with a final, broader question to think about. If a simple application can do this for solar energy, what other huge challenges could we solve just by making the information clear, direct, and accessible to everyone?